love that bike. Hey everybody, it's your good buddy 650E here, and it's a beautiful day. Well, considering this is mid-February, the temperatures are in the 60 degrees, and I'm out riding. You can see we still have a little snow out here on the filthy grounds, but it's perfect for making a snowman and throwing snowballs into a creek, if you would. Yeah. Okay. I'm about to go for a cruise on the FZ MT-10, and this ought to be pretty fun. It's a lot of fun cruising the filthy streets on the FZ MT-10, but I want to take you back a couple months to when I visited my good buddy George at Pitbull headquarters in a small town in Alabama. All right, we're here at Pitbull headquarters here in Huntsville, Alabama. We're going to get a tour of my good buddy George. What up, George?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good, man. And we got, of course, Eric. You guys know him. He's been on my channel 1,000 times by now.
Everything starts with the tubing. We have been buying tubing by the truckload since way back when Charlie was working basically out of his garage.
Charlie, is he the owner of Pitbull?
Charlie is the owner. Okay. He had to run. He had a meeting with his accountant this afternoon.
Okay.
He was here till, I mean, you maybe missed about like 30 minutes, but he he's the owner. He started it back in 1994, I believe.
Okay.
And he was working for Boeing at the time. He was designing mechanisms for the space station, and he did a lot of cool projects back in the day. And then he just got tired of the bureaucracy of that kind of employment. He decided he wasn't happy with the stands that were out there at the time.
Sure.
So he started building these. Gave one away at a WERA race that he was a club racer back in August of '94, and that was the first stand. And then he sold a stand that weekend as well. And then 3 years later, I guess he was he had quit Boeing, and I think it went down to part-time briefly, and then he quit and did this full-time.
Wow.
The first year he did this full-time, he did less in gross sales than he made in a year working for Boeing, so it was a big leap.
I bet. Yeah. Where did he get the name Pitbull? Did he have a doggy or something?
No, it was something, the company started out as Full Spectrum Design, and after being in business for quite a while, he always looked at it as a design company that got into motorcycles rather than a motorcycle company. So the Full Spectrum Design was the beginning. Pitbull was the most popular product, and eventually became so dominant that we changed. When we incorporated, we just became Pitbull Products Inc. Our ultralight rear stands, those came from racer and race teams just saying, hey, we need this. The tire tree, the jack stands, the trailer restraint system.
That's what I was just about to ask you about. That's one of my favorite units that you sell. How did he come up with that?
2003, Keith Perry with Team Hammer Racing. He had seen something in the MotoGP paddocks that he liked, and he asked us if we could build something for him. We built him a system, but we weren't real happy with it. It was a little cumbersome to use. Charlie has always been a guy that was very focused on the elegance of the design. So
sure,
he
I
didn't
can
think
tell.
it was fast enough to use.
Yeah.
So he never brought it to market. We built it for Keith. Their race team used it for years.
Yeah.
And we never brought it out. And then in 2007, they were coming back from the New York Motorcycle Show, and one of our guys that used to work here, Aaron, was in the car with Charlie, and he said, Charlie turned on the Sirius radio, was it like the preview channel?
Yeah.
And he listened to that for like 7 hours straight, and then he was like zoned in, thinking of the trailer restraint system. And when he turned it off, he said, I have an idea for a new trailer restraint system, and he had the concept. By the time he got back here, the first prototype we did was almost exactly the product that we released.
Wow.
In his head, he came up with it, and it was amazing. So
That's amazing.
We did some product testing on it, tested it for strength. He's got a friend that his trainer that lets us use the weights and stuff at his gym, and we went and tested it to see how much force it could take. And it was able to take a lot of force, more force than you'll ever really encounter. And,
sure.
You've probably heard some stories now about people that
they put them on
trailers.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of that stuff that's happened.
And you sent me a picture of a person that actually installed the restraint system on top of their station wagon or something.
Yeah, somebody put it on top of a Cadillac. Some of our guys at Speed and Motorsports, they were transporting a bike, and they put it on the roof of a Cadillac in the middle of winter. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Ducati 848.
I've always been curious. so you have so many different motorcycles out there, and you guys have a bunch of pins for them.
Yes.
Now, do you have to go and do you just call the manufacturer and get the diameter, or do you get a
I wish
motorcycle?
it was that easy.
Yeah.
We don't have them on speed dial, but what we do is like Charlie just went to the New York show and he measured some bikes while he was up there.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
smart.
going to go to Chicago in February and I'll measure some bikes there. We go like before the show opens in the morning. We go and ask the manufacturers, hey, can we check this bike out for a little bit? And we take all the pins that we have up there, as well as some prototypes and custom pins we've done in the past, and we check everything out.
Yeah.
This past at New York, we took a prototype pin for the HD4 race.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we tested that out, and that was an all new pin for us. We just got our first new tube bender. This we got last week, and we've had a old tube bender for the last 20 plus years. That actually came off a Navy ship from the 60s.
Oh, what?
And it was a lot more difficult to keep everything perfect.
Yeah.
So that scrap bin over there ended up with a couple more tubes than what we would have liked. But this new machine, we're trying to update our machinery a little bit as you know, budget allows. So this was the first step. A lot of these adjustments now are made automatically through the computer. So if we tell it we're going to do rear stands, we can program in exactly what it's going to do, and it's a a CNC tube bender. It's going to give us the ability to make a more repeatable bend without so much finesse throughout the process. It used to be if we were going to do 100 tubes, we start bending them one way, then about halfway through we have to make an adjustment, and then at the end we make another adjustment. It was just not nearly as repeatable as this. We take a lot of pride in the welding. Everybody here welding has only welded pit bull stands professionally. We find that people that have been specialty welders, they have a hard time wrapping their head around welding a certain number of stands every day of the year. So production welding, people say, oh, you could get a robot to do it, or you should just MIG weld it or whatever. We started this, we had a pride in the TIG welding. That's the way we want to do it. We want to do it our way. So it's everybody here has been taught how to weld by Kelly. He's our senior welder. Now he's the production manager. He'll go back and teach them how to do it the pit bull way. These were supposed to be tire trees, and we just found out that there was some little dents in the metal that we weren't real happy about.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And then we decided, you know what, these aren't good enough to be pit bulls, so these are going to get cut up and thrown in scrap.
Wow.
And that's and just like you said, your eye will pick up things that the machine wouldn't.
Yeah.
When you picked it up and turned it, I could see the little dents in it.
And we feel like if people go to buy a pit bull, they're not going to want to see that.
Right.
So we just said, okay, we'll set these aside, cut them up, they'll go into scrap, and that happens from time to time. But you got to sacrifice some here and there. You risk putting out a product that people are like, oh, that's a pit bull. We don't ever want anyone to ever say that. We want them to feel good about it. We do offer a replating service.
Okay.
If people want to get their stands replated, we can strip them down and replate them. Usually winter is the best time to do that.
Okay.
We've got these cleaner tanks that they go through. When we first bring them up on the line, it'll basically just get a lot of the oils and whatnot off of them. And then they go through a couple of rinse tanks. And after the rinse, they go into a hydrochloric. And that'll just help get the heat scales off from welding. And then we got a separate hydrochloric tank if it's something that's being replated. That way, this only gets the plated stands. This one gets all the bare metal.
Okay.
And 2 more rinse tanks to get all that off there before it goes into the zinc.
Oh wow.
And in the zinc bath, it'll sit in here for about 20 minutes. And we have 2 bays that it can go in since they have to soak for 20 minutes. And then when they come out of there, they'll go around into double rinse, and we actually go 2 times in each bath. Then we go into a nitric. The nitric is going to really brighten up the stand. It'll come out of here with a little bit of a dull gray. Once it goes into the nitric, it's going to come out with almost a chrome, almost a silver chrome look. We generally only charge about $10 for replating. The shipping costs are a little bit prohibitive, so like let's say you have 4 stands, you can throw them all in one box and send them back. We try to make it affordable. We don't make a profit. We don't make a nickel on replating stuff. But the thing that we run into with replating is like you're also going to need new wheels, new stickers, new handles, all that stuff. So the plating, we charge $10 for the refurbished kits. I believe are $19.99. And that way, your total cost for refurbishing a stand is $30.
That's awesome customer service. So to be honest, I mean, 'cause what other stand company that we know of does that?
Yeah, you can't do that with the Chinese stuff.
No, no.
This is your yellow chromate tank. We have a clear chromate tank also for some of the parts, like I don't know if you've seen like the cup washers and stuff that go on the trailer restraint systems where there's a solid axle.
Okay.
And we put like a cup washer on those. We want that to be clear zinc so that it blends in with the motorcycle, whereas the yellow zinc is for our stands and accessory items. Most people wouldn't want the yellow zinc as like a permanent part on the bike. And then 2 more rinse tanks. These get a lot of that yellow on them, so we'll have to clean these out every couple weeks to keep that clean. This is just a wastewater tank. Then we bake the stands. Baking them is going to not only cure the plating, but it's also going to help give it that iridescence, because they come out of the yellow with more or less just a yellow zinc look.
Yeah.
And then that baking is going to help you have that red, that purple, that green.
Yeah.
We like that look, so.
I do too.
How long did it take him to really test to get the final color down that he actually, like, you know what, now that's the color I'm looking for and that I like? 'Cause I bet it probably took a couple of times of doing it.
It took a long time. Even when I started here 17 years ago, they didn't look like this. We had a little bit of more of a paler yellow zinc finish, and it's just been kind of a constant process of improvement, trying to get it to look better and better. And eventually we got to the point that we had done this so long, and we had seen what the best that it could be done was. We wanted our contractors to give us that, and they don't want to have to do their best every single day.
Right.
Whereas Jason, he'll do his best every single day because he works for Pitbull.
Right.
He's invested, so.
He can look at it when he goes to a paddock. He can say, "I did that."
Yeah, and we want them to look this way. Now that we have our own plating shop, we can make them look this way. And actually, this isn't even a great representation because these are rejects.
Right.
These are ones we're going to send through.
That's awesome when the rejects look good.
Yeah. Some of Charlie's old bikes. There's an S1000RR. Charlie actually rode this at Bonneville Salt Flats and got the land speed record with it.
Wow.
He went, I believe it was 198.465, 198.248. We were running out of floor space out there, so we moved some of our final packaging machines and our sprockets out here just in hopes of gaining more floor space. But we keep 520, 525, 530 sprockets for most of the common sport bikes. And some uncommon ones. And then we keep a variety of chains to go with those and chain tools. We've been doing those for years. The stands will come in about 60% the weight of a traditional rear stand, but they're not width adjustable. But by not adding the width adjustability, you get a lighter stand. We also make the height a little bit shorter, so it just barely gets the wheels off the ground. We've been doing these at a specific height and 3 different widths for a long time, and we're just about to switch to where these are all going to be custom. These are all going to be to customer specs. You can special order them, and we'll have a little spot on the website where you can say, I want this height, this width, I want this length handle, or I want the handle removable. And just give people, if they want a race style rear stand that's customized for their bike, we'll build it. This was actually Charlie's bike from high school.
Oh, really?
He rebuilt it, obviously.
That looks like one of the new ones that they've, trying to bring back. And
that's a Honda 305. He's been building this for a while, and then he finished it and took it to a few bike shows to enter it in the bike builder competitions. Well, he's gotten a couple of trophies from it, but pretty much everything on here, these GP lifters and the foot pegs and even the headlight bracket and all kinds of stuff on here that he had us machine here in the shop. And here it looks like everybody's gone for the day, but we have a small lathe that we do some of our live tool operations with, and the big lathe we'll do the more complex things, steering stabilizers or trailer free pins that are more complex. And then the bar feeder lathe will do the simplest parts. In this case, it's like the component that's going to be used later for a front stand. It gets the starting process here. This machine is down right now. We're going to have to repair it one more time, and then we're probably going to look to replace it. We've had this machine for probably 20 years.
Oh, wow.
We try to avoid, big purchases and all of that. There's not a huge profit margin in the motorcycle industry, and when you make big purchases, there goes that year's profit.
Yeah.
That tube bender we just got last week, so come spring we'll have to probably bite the bullet, get another machine. We'd like to replace that big lathe as well. You just got to do it as you can afford it. Charlie's rule also, don't go in debt.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He keeps us on a cash business, tube bender we paid for, so that way whatever happens, we're in a good position to, sales slow down, all we have to do is just make less stands. We don't have a loan payment to make.
Nice. Very nice.
Good system. Of course, Matt's finishing up getting some stands out the door. We'll try to get as many as we can. Things are a little slower in the winter, but Christmas is usually good for getting some product out.
I take it when Charlie was going to the track, he was hanging the suit up in the hanger brake, and so they made a...
Well, he was taking his leathers out to the Bonneville Salt Flats, and he was tired of getting to Utah and his leathers being in a crumpled heap on the floor. And you can buy a heavy-duty hanger, and some of them, they say they're heavy-duty, and it still doesn't work. And he thought, you know what? We've got tubing, we've got a bender. All we have to do is get this piece made, and we can do a heavy-duty hanger that'll be able to hold up the leathers and the rider. You can snap that in there, and then kind of like the tire weight, just snaps onto the tube. That's not going to come out unless you want it to come out.
Oh, wow.
So these wall mounts are nice to have in the trailer.
They are.
Or in your garage, wherever. And of course you can put on a regular coat rack too. But something we wanted it. A lot of these products start that way. We wanted it.
We got both bikes secured with the trailer restraint systems from Pitbull, and we just had an awesome visit with my good buddy George here. He showed us their assembly line and lots of their cool products, and now we're going to head out of here. So go ahead and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. You can subscribe to my channel by clicking subscribe. New videos are always uploaded to the 650 Eve YouTube channel. Stay tuned for more, and as always, thanks for viewing. We'll catch you next time. We're going to talk to George and Eric here for a second, and then get the heck out of here. We'll catch you next time.